Haja, thank you very much. Firefighters in Los Angeles are racing to cut off rapidly spreading wildfires before strong winds return and continue to push the flames. 5 wildfires have killed at least 16 people and swept through 39,000 acres in the greater Los Angeles area. More than 12,000 structures have been destroyed. The battle against the flames from the Palisades fire continues from the air and the ground in Mandeville Canyon. The fire continues to move towards Highway 405, and if it jumps the highway, it will enter a heavily populated area. Our Jasmine Monroe spoke with a woman from Jacksonville who had to evacuate after coming face to face with the LA wildfires.
Ashley Sutton is a Florida native and a proud graduate of Englewood High School and the University of Florida. Currently, she resides in the Los Angeles area. She recently found herself among those affected by the devastating wildfires. Since then, she's been forced to evacuate her home for safety. She's now temporarily staying at an Airbnb while she navigates the uncertainty brought by the fire. I got a chance to speak to her, and she tells me her new reality is just heartbreaking. Take a look.
I'm pretty sure this is, not the easiest conversation to talk about. Probably something that you never would have really imagined yourself having to do. So walk me through where you are, what part of the city you live in, and what you've had to do for the past 4 days.
Yeah, of course. I live in West Hollywood, so I'm not directly affected by the current two fires, the Eaton and the Pacific Palisades fire. But the problem that a lot of us are dealing with is the air quality. It's just really because of the way the city is and everything is kind of around, all of the smoke comes into the valley and to the West Hollywood area. So the air quality is really bad. On Wednesday, I left with my husband and all of our animals, and 3 other households of friends were at an Airbnb right now in Orange County, just because we didn't know what was going to happen. And the Sunset Fire happened on Wednesday night, I believe, and that one is close to my house. It's about a mile from my house. So we were pretty worried going to sleep on Wednesday night, and thankfully they were able to get that one under control. But I think all of us are kind of in shock. We sat around the dinner table last night talking about everything, and we have friends that have lost everything, friends that have babies that just had kids during the pandemic that have lost everything. There are people that we know that were out at work and couldn't get back to their house. So all they had was the stuff that, they had with them, like their backpack of clothes or whatever. And I've had friends that have lost the place that they work. So now they're going to come back to the city and just have no jobs. So it's really devastating. I think I'm still in shock of all of it. It doesn't feel real yet. I think going back into Los Angeles and seeing the devastation is going to make it feel more real. But right now, it doesn't feel real. Waking up on Wednesday and walking outside and just seeing like 2 sides of, outside of my house were just like black sky. It just felt very apocalyptic in some way.
A lot of people describing it as like an atomic bomb went off, or one of the women I got a chance to talk to, she said, just imagine going outside, looking to the left, looking to the right, there's houses, and the next day they're just gone. What do you really truly grab when you're evacuating from these areas? Because you're from the Florida area, so you know about evacuation and the evacuation zones and how serious this can be. But what's the difference between a hurricane and a fire?
Yeah, the only reason I think I did evacuate is because my family was a part of the Palm Coast fire that happened over a decade ago. So I woke up to text messages from my family saying, "Hey, you need to leave. Things change so quickly. You just have no idea." And my husband and I talked about what we would pack. Obviously, our animals. We brought all of our animals and just some photo albums. And that's really everything else. I feel like is replaceable. The thing that we were discussing last night with my friends is, people are losing their home. And, you have those days where you just want to go home and curl up on the couch and like feel like that safety in your house. And there's so many people at every level of like economic class. Obviously the Pacific Palisades, it is a lot more upper class. And, you're seeing all these celebrities that have lost their homes. But you're then Altadena, it's an area where there are people that are in the middle and lower class that have literally lost everything. And it's very much reminding me of after Katrina, where there were just parts of the city that just were never going to be able to rebuild because the families used all of their money just to get out. And I feel like we're going to be dealing with that for years to come, where just areas won't ever be able to be livable again, and families are just going to have to leave the city.
How are you holding up mentally? I mean, what are you telling yourself? I mean, I could see it in your eyes. It's just like, you kind of have that glossed over look because it hasn't quite hit you yet, but you're just that trauma response of I have to keep going because if you realize how bad it is, you may just lose it.
Yeah, 100%. I had work meetings scheduled the day after, and I just energetically was not able to do any of that. It's really been hard to sleep, been communicating with all of our friends that left and friends that didn't leave, trying to get them to leave. And I mean, we're not doing well. Like none of us are. It feels like we can't catch a break. We had the pandemic, and then it's just like things keep happening, and now this is another thing that's going to devastate the economy in Los Angeles. And a lot of people in LA, we live paycheck to paycheck. Even if you're an artist, even if you're an actor or a musician, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. So this is just another thing that is going to devastate us. And I think I'm still in shock. I don't think I feel the heaviness fully of what's happening, but I think as soon as we go back into the city, that weight will be on our shoulders. And I'm hoping that people in the city start to come together and support each other and help each other. But I guess only time will tell.
Now, despite the challenges, Ashley and her husband and a few of her friends remain resilient. She does tell me that she hopes that the city bounces back and people come together in the time of need. For First Coast News on your side, I'm Jasmine Monroe.